Seems like today is Towers of Doom Day, the second best of 5 of Playday number 4 here at the European Qualifier, and we once again start on Towers of Doom. Poland against Sweden, big one. Definitely a big game right now. So, we're going into another best of 5, obviously, and we are currently on the 4th Playday, and Poland and Sweden is an interesting battle that the two of them have to fight, because for Poland, there's quite a bit on the line here. Poland and Spain are two of the teams that so far have had a pretty good showing against the top 3, against Germany, Sweden and France. Always a little bit iffy. These teams are usually... I mean, again, they're the favorites, right? So they are expected to win. But even against them, some of the teams have had good showings. We're trying to take a map there or not. And we are still talking about this 4th spot where teams can still qualify for the offline event in Berlin. So Poland, Sweden are a couple of candidates that might be able to pull that off. Poland and Spain might be two of the candidates that can pull that off. Finland is another one. Another contender. So things are getting very interesting when one of these teams then faces off against one of the favorites, because the question is, can you take maybe a map or can you even take an entire series? And that would shake things up completely. But either way, as we're heading into this now, the goal for the remaining 8 teams is of course to qualify for the offline event. We have an offline event coming up in Berlin in June 10th and 11th. And as explained multiple times now, you guys are more than welcome to stop by in Berlin if you want to maybe combine it with a city trip, if you live nearby, and enjoy some Heroes of the Storm. Offline Heroes of the Storm. In addition to that, international Heroes of the Storm, since we get a team from Asia and we also get a team from North America. So the Nations Cup is going to continue there. And yeah, casters are going to be on site, players are going to be on site. It's going to be awesome. It's all taking place at the Experian in Berlin. Fantastic venue. If you want to see some pictures, some videos, and some examples of events that they've run in the past to get an idea of the venue, there's links in the description that you can follow up with and check out. And also, of course, keep in mind the crowdfunding going on if you support efforts like this. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. And the experience is actually located extremely central in Berlin at the Alexanderplatz, which makes this even more exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. But now we have Towers of Doom coming up with Diablo and Dehaka picked quickly for the Swedes. And Sweden had an interesting route so far. They played against one of the top 3 themselves already. Germany, for example, who up to this point have an absolute stellar record. They haven't dropped a single map yet in this competition, but they have also not played against any of the top dogs yet. Sweden, then again, they played against France, and it was an absolute banger of a game. So the Swedes, they're doing work. They're really doing work here. And it's not only enough to qualify for Berlin, you want to also end up with a high seed so that you have maybe an easier time in the first few rounds of the tournament. It's a double elimination system that we're going to play out in Berlin. So if you face off against some easier opponents at the beginning, then all the better for you. Blaze, Anduin, Hanzo. And we get an early Maiev over here too in game number 1 of this best of 5 series. And can't wait, honestly. Really want to see what Poland can do too. We have later today another big match coming up because Spain goes up against France, and as I explained previously, that's another one of these highlights. Where for the underdogs it comes down not only of whether or not they can win the match, but if they can win a map. Even a map win or 2 would go a long way to just set yourself a little bit farther apart from the direct contenders that you have in the standings. So yeah, here we are. We got on the right side Sweden with the final pick for Gia for Towers of Doom, game number 1 in this best of 5, and it is Jaina. Tether from Maiev trying to get some Diablo wall stunts going, and then Jaina can follow up on it. So here we go, everybody. Towers of Doom, map number 1 in the best of 5. Let's go. Poland on the left in blue with Lavakal on Anduin, Itrax on Hanzo, Arion on Falstad, we have Ether on Blaze, and twice on Garrosh. To the right side of the map, Sweden with Svamgrotta on Dehaka, Henning on Rhaegar, we got Gia on Jaina, Lauba on Diablo, and Skok on Maiev. Poland had an interesting time, as I alluded to in the draft a bit. in the round of 8 here, in our full round robin, because even like we're currently on the 4th play day and they already played against 2 out of the top 3 and now they're playing against the 3rd. They played initially on the 1st play day against France, weren't able to take a map, and then they also played against Germany where they also lost without taking a single game. Now that in and of itself is not really too crazy because again we have 3 favorites for a reason. The players that are playing for those 3 countries, they are insanely experienced, super powerful, some of them former HGC players. But what Poland also did, they played on the 2nd play day against Ukraine, and that match went down to the wire, but Poland was able to decide it in their favor. So against the direct competitor, they were able to lock in a victory. And this currently is going to be the last match they play against one of the top dogs. What you of course have to do if you are right from the beginning in the round robin system, play against only the strongest players, you have to be okay with losing. You can't be demotivated by losing a couple of games. You can't end up in a situation where you are starting to lose hope. You just have to say, alright, these are matches that we're supposed to lose. If we can win one of these matches, fantastic. If we can take a couple of maps, great. But if we lose them, we just have to believe that all of these favorites are also going to do well against the other underdogs, and then we just have to take it from there, one match at a time, go up against the direct competition and show them how it's done. And Poland has a strong team, so if they can take a map or 2 against Sweden, all the better. If they can win the entire series, that would be insane, but we'll see if they can. And Sweden is currently in the number 2 position in the standings, so since they already defeated France, if they, for example, take Germany down, then they would easily claim the number 1 spot. So playing flawless outside of that still is important for them, and they are now getting kill after kill in the early game on Towers of Doom already. Especially thanks to the help of Dehaka, who tunneled down into the fight and allowed them to get the kills on Anduin and Garrosh. So fantastic start for Sweden. Really good start for them as they take 3 kills and now take the wall already. So that's big too. Claim that wall early on in the game, allow it to get bell tower pressure going and try and transfer that over. We get Indomitable in for Garrosh with the level 4 talents. Nothing out of the ordinary here just yet. There's nothing too noteworthy. For Ender we get the Piercing Light and we get the Even-Handed Blessings. I don't know, but every single time I hear even-handed blessings, all I can think of is evenly handed. Slap on the right, slap on the left. One with the right, one with the left. So, yeah. Triple altar phase. We're kicking things off here, of course, early, but the lead-in experience, thanks to these kills and the damage done with the bot lane, is already favoring Sweden a bit for the encounter, since they should get level 7. And then a talent advantage over the first objective is definitely going to get you into a great spot to lock in 2 of those altars at least. So, yeah, we'll see. But alrighty, another tether, another attack, and Hanzo. Oh, what a save by Garrosh! Twice, damn son. Well played. Saving Hanzo. Now, I personally wouldn't have saved him, I would have let him die. Like, yeah, I would have let the soy boy go down, but they get 2 kills, and a lot of this comes because of the great play by their frontliner. If Twice doesn't save the target in that situation, they won't be able to rely on Hanzo for the damage. He comes in, allows them to get kills on Maiev and on Rhaegar, and that was just well done. Now, both of these altars still ended up in the hands of Poland, so that's even better for them. They were not only getting the kills, but also the altars, and all of a sudden they're back to business. So, yeah, well done. Great job by them. And the big question, of course, is now, can they invade already? Seems like Sweden is not intimidated in the slightest. Sweden is like, yeah, we don't care. We're still gonna attack you here. We're still gonna take these pumpkins. Thank you very, very much. Another play made now for Ether on his blaze, but the jet propulsion! And Maiev is dead again! Yeah, she came, she saw, and she died again. Benny, BDBG. So, Garrosh is also gone. At least they're trading kills. They're trying to go for the birdie. Yeah, bit of chicken, and what a lick by Dehaka. He was hungry, you can tell. So he moved through, took him down, 5 kills to 3. It's a little bit tough to say who's getting the better end of these fights, but thanks to the structural damage by Poland earlier, sorry, by Sweden earlier, Poland is now a little bit behind here. But okay, off to the races. Up at the top, the Haka is now coming back in. Obviously, the global is giving them a big advantage in that situation. Can really help them out here as they are trying to get the lead in experience. Especially pushing for level 10 is important. If you get it as the two altars are still in play, you are guaranteed to dominate the next objective too. But yeah, quick play for this one. Seems like Gia is getting a free channel. Hanzo could try and interrupt, and yep, no, he doesn't get it. Doesn't get it. So single altar is still available, is the one in the middle. Down to the bottom of the map the channel has happened, and as I said, there is a window of opportunity for Sweden as they're now grabbing level 10, and with the Haka moving in, very likely the altar will be given by Poland. They're zoning them already as is. Blaze could try to move in, but he gets stopped by Diablo. That allows Henning a bit more time, and another 4 shots get fired by Sweden. The Meatballs with the plays, the IKEA boys, and the arrow is missing. Yeah. The arrow is missing, so are at least some of the screws of the latest IKEA product that you purchased. And now that Maiev is starting to go for the tether, here we go. Lauber is the glue that holds this particular IKEA product together. So yeah, one tortured pun after another. I'm not apologizing, like I've been here for a while. So yeah, 6 kills to 3. Actually, I'm trying to come up with more IKEA puns, but I think I have to prepare that a little bit more. The funny thing is that next to my school, when I was in high school, there was an IKEA. It was like 3 minutes away by car. And IKEA has not only some amazing products with missing screws and bolts, but they also have fantastic cookies. They have really nice cookies, and those hot dogs that you have there too, and they're usually pretty cheap. So we would actually, during our breaks, oftentimes go to IKEA and just get cookies for the rest of the group and then drive back our hot dogs. And yeah, so it was actually like IKEA quite a bit. You never had to go through the shop in order to get them, so still would get lost there every single time, but that was pretty cool. So yeah, chocolate cookies. Don't know what they're called, skurbröd or something like that. Something along those lines, but yeah. Anyways, now that we're having heroic abilities ready for the next altar battle, we get a very early gust for an isolation play. They're trying to save Garrosh here, but the disc stopped him cold. Skork wants to follow up and try and still get the kill on the tank. Can't, but here's the isolation. Short distance arrow was not enough to stop them, and Anduin is down. The Crybaby eliminated. They're making a move for Twice, and Twice is dead. So one channel has already happened. So while Sweden kills heroes, Poland takes altars. That's what happens. Another one channeled. Hanzo is down. So 3 kills for 2 altars. And that means that Sweden is now behind on the core points. Now there's a little bit of a difference, of course. If you're properly making these plays and you're getting control of the map, then it's totally fine if you're behind in core points for a while, because it just ensures that as the game continues, you are getting more and more damage done and you can dominate your opponent here. Of course, there's also the element of experience, but now we are seeing more than a level lead for Sweden, which is going to allow them not only a talent advantage, but maybe even an earlier level 16, which is even more important. Yeah, the Haka's trying to escape, and he's just getting flipped around here. Light Bomb doesn't really do anything. Svamkrota is still on the run. Is he gonna get away? There's the Ancestral. Yeah, the Juke Master 2000. Check it out, the Haka, and he comes through with a lick and a kill. Don't fuck with Svamkrota. He is going to crush you. Well played by him. Buys himself some time until Rhaegar is close enough for the Ancestral, and now they're going for another one. So that's an easy bell tower. Blue team thinks that they can respond at the bot lane and simply go for a trade. I don't see it. I don't think they can trade this one, because the defense is already there. So 6 bell towers against 2. Single altar only. Bit unfortunate for Sweden. They would have loved to have an altar rotation with at least 2. But they should get... I mean, there is absolutely no way that Poland makes it to that altar down at the bottom of the map. The arrow from beyond the grave Way too far out. Is that a kill? Twice? Twice? Yep. So he died 5 times now. Wish he died twice, but no, he died 5 times. Gia nearly got Hanzo'd. The bell tower is... the altar's, by the way, up. So they could go for the channel, but nobody is going there. Instead, the fight at the top is still happening. I think Henning finally had enough and is saying, like, you know what, guys? Maybe at some point we should just try to win the game. And that's where he's headed. So he's going for the altar, and that's another 6 shots fired. That gives them the lead again. We have the blue team down to 22 points on their core. And now the attack in the middle. So Poland is obviously eager to bring this back. They have to. At this point in time, they're just looking at the map and they're saying, guys, we cannot just sit there and let them have 6 bell towers. We need to reclaim some. Because if we lose a fight and they take the top, then the barrage starts and then we're truly screwed. So level 16 is now available. That gives us also the numbing blast. And yeah, they are holding on to the bot lane. Which is obviously the more important bell tower. It's the one that gives you access to the bottom altar for free, and it allows you to send pumpkins your opponent's way time and time again. With level 16 talents, they have another advantage that makes it very annoying for Poland having to fight there in the first place. So the blue team is trying to avoid it as best as they can, just reacting to pumpkins, not much more than that. But there is a triple altar phase coming up, and you could lose a lot of ground there. So, yeah, bot lane. Let's see. 16 to 16. Just a few seconds. Poland needs a bit more experience. That minion wave and the one at the top should barely be enough. Get them close at least. The Haka still fine. But yeah, here it is. Triple altar phase just being announced. Svamgrota dodging everything. Short distance arrow at the bottom of the map. Connected. Didn't really do a lot for them though. Lava was engaging again. They just wanted to stop. Oh, the numbing blast. Oh, Gia. Yeah, well done. Good gust, but I don't think it was good enough. They're still able to get away from this. And Falstad, careful, my friend. If you don't want to end up in the KFC basket again, then you need to stay away from the damage dealer, especially Jaina. Numbing blast. Value against Anduin. Dibbles is dead. Calculated death, of course. Still at the soul stacks. Shots fired. Easy exchanges at the top left and right. 5 against Poland. 3 against Sweden. Diablo's back to business on the map. Rega making a move for the altar. And that is going to put Poland back to 11 points on their core. Yep. Quick connect right here. 10-point lead on the core for Sweden. And they go for another play. They really try to take Anduin down. So far it hasn't worked out for them. Jaina's at 34,000 damage. 64,000 from Hanzo. 64,000! All that padding damage with that consistent poke throughout the game. Honey with an early tap here. Trying to get the mana pool back up. Jaina hasn't died yet. Gia's the only one. You know why? Because he rides a money pig. Makes you stronger. It's scientifically proven that the money pig is the superior mount. Twice. Nah. He gets out. Even with the Mind Blast. Disc is also your loadout. They're trying to take some control over the top lane. It's 3 heroes defending and the rest is pushing. Falsa can of course fly down, so they were trying to create a bit of an imbalance there. Pumpkins claimed now. Again. Camp after camp. Helps them also with the experience lead. They're not only half a level ahead, but again, it matters. So, yeah. And Falstad and Blaze, they would love to convert that top altar. The top bell tower. But we're not quite there yet. We are, on the other hand, coming on to a single altar, and that's one that Poland might actually fight for. That position they can reach. Can they put some pumpkins through? Twice. Careful. Indomitable. Tether by Maiev. That's not enough. One pumpkin, so close, yet so far. Pumpkin down, but the chicken gets killed. Nice. The chicken is down. Here's the barbecue play. The Ancestral comes through in time to save Diablo. Oh, they're so close. They're all so close. So close to dying, but it's Diablo that falls. Diablo's eliminated. The Haka is stopping the pumpkins at the top, and the channel from Skok is happening as we speak. Another 5 shots fired, putting Poland down to 6 points on the core. I cannot believe that nobody else died from Poland. They should have lost at least another hero, maybe even 2. But then it's Diablo that gets thrown into the fray, trying to get the final hit in, but he just can't. It's so sick. Cams stolen. Level 20 should be first for Sweden. But it's a nice back and forth now. It's a really nice back and forth. Pumpkins get some connects. Bell tower gets reclaimed. I mean, Poland is right there. They are the ones that are now threatening the bell tower conversion up at the top. Ooh, are they going for the boss? If they can get a kill, that would of course be fantastic. And I think he's screwed. He will at least have to bunker up if he has a chance. Arrow is too late. Connects beautifully, but it's too late. The Gust, then again, it's a 4 versus 4. Keep that in mind. And there's the kill. Maiev is gone. They get the second as Rhaegar falls. It's Svamkrota again. He is so damn good with this hero. He gets them the kill on Falstad, and that avoids disaster and allows them to get Diablo back into the mix. Now they're taking down Garrosh. What looked for a few seconds like a total disaster for Sweden is now again turning into a victory for them. Poland in trouble. Both teams on level 20 talents. Svamkrota's hits with the tongue and then the quick kills allowed them to turn this fight around once again. His side laner plays are just insane. This escape earlier, another good one, allowed them to get kills and eventually they get pumpkins again. They're trying to apply pressure to the bottom bell tower. This one is an easy channel that's going to put Poland down to 2 points on the core. Yeah, and then of course you know you're in trouble. 2 points to 21. Yes, we've seen that comeback more than once. House of Doom, after all, is the comeback map in the game. But good luck pulling that one off. Just because it's possible doesn't mean it's easy. 2 points to 21. 7 kills to 15. 95,000 damage by Hanzo. He's gonna join the 6-digit club in just a second. Yeah. Alright. Some sick numbers for him. Huh! Tactical pause detected! Look at that. They get the boss here. Did they actually lose somebody? Yeah, it seems like Garrosh is piecing out. So their frontliner is a little bit scared over here. Garrosh is like, guys, this is too much pressure for me. I can't handle it. So he's out of the game. Needs to reconnect, but they're going for the boss. This is a play that is mostly done to remove it from the map. I mean, obviously you're happy about every single point you remove from your opponent's core, right? But the big advantage for them with that play is that Sweden now has one less option to end the game. You need to remove it if you're Poland, but they are, as a consequence, losing at the bottom of the map, their bell tower. They try to retake up at the top. That's kind of important here too. But of course they need to keep an eye on the pumpkins now that will travel through the bot lane. But one of the main reasons to go for the boss in that situation from the perspective of the blue team is remove it as an option to your opponent's team. Pumpkins should make it through over here. Shouldn't mean too much. I mean, again, but that counts. I mean, that's 7 points of the opponent's core, and 14 to 2 is looking a lot better than 21 to 2. I love that they're timing the camp now around the objective. That will force some of the heroes back down to the bottom of the map as they're trying to play this one out. But it's all about the kills. And another drag connects. Twice is down to 50% of its HP thanks to Svamkrota. If your opponent's tank is at half HP before the fight has even started, that's great. That's absolutely great. Doesn't mean you're getting the kill, but it's a good start. Gust again as falls in, and another tongue connects. Svamkrota, please miss 1 or 2 every now and then just to make the rest of us feel better. They kill Hanzo, they kill Falstad. It's a 5-man wipe. They kill the entire team. No mercy given. Sweden with the big hits, the big damage, the kills, and the victory in game number 1 on Towers of Doom. They don't even have to. The pumpkins end the game, and that is the lead for Sweden in this best of 5. GG. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. God of Terror, map number 2. There's a trend today. Seems like the matches follow the same map pattern. If that still holds, then game number 3 is going to be played on Battlefield of Eternity. Sweden has taken the lead. They are 1-0. They showed no mercy in that last fight, like none whatsoever. And again, for me personally, the man of the game was Svamgrota. It's always a little bit weird, like in a team sport, to come in and say like, yeah, this guy is, you know, like the player of the game, the MVP. Because at the end of the day, you usually can't really make the big plays unless your team is working for you. But if we would call one out in this one that had some pretty solid plays, then it would probably be Svamgrota. Seen fantastic performance from all of the boys here at one point or another. But the amount of connects that he had with the Lick is just crazy. And yeah, not dying, just juking them out, buying time for the rest of the team to come in and turning the fight up at the top lane, as we saw once. It was pretty nicely done too. But again, as we are going into game number 2, rule still holds. Heroes that have been played once cannot be played again in the same series. And guys, again, I'm throwing it out once more. We have a crowdfunding going on. If you watch this on YouTube, make sure that you check out the links in the description. We are trying to keep the Heroes of the Storm competitive scene alive outside of just hosting online events. But we've done now 2 events in Miami last year with international representation, where we had teams from Asia, teams from Europe face off against American teams. Not something that you really get online because of the ping problems. At least you don't get a fair match because of ping problems. And we are doing it now in Berlin. If you would like to see us do more of these things in the future, we are relying on your support, because we are definitely not getting any support from Blizzard. That's already true. And for sure. So yeah, if you would like to support this, any support is appreciated. Links are in the description. We're crowdfunding for this event. That will help us to make it better, but also to get another one going. So we get Uther in the house, the man with the beard, Genji, and Jojo. Why does Genji have a mask and Hanzo doesn't? Is there some lore around it? I mean, personally, he's probably so ugly that he's trying to spare other people the sight. It's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Genji's a Schnitzelkind. Doesn't translate properly. Translates into cutlet kid. So basically what it says, like, when you were a little kid, you were so damn ugly that your parents had to hang a cutlet around your neck so that at least the dog would play with you. Yeah, Germans are mean, I know. That was definitely a thing when I was a kid. I mean, not the actual practice, but that insult. Germans were big on that insult, so yeah. And I can totally see Genji in that spot. I mean, even today nobody likes him. So nobody likes his brother either. While we're at it, it's the entire family. Just screw them. Either way. Anubarak and Kerrigan. So already aggression from Sweden as we're starting this one off. And Artanis. Alright. Garden of Terror with Artanis and Deckard. Artanis on Garden? Okay. Can help you with the camps a little bit, I suppose. Not really what I expected from the draft. I mean, the bans on Hogga and Lucio made perfect sense to me. Anubura Kerrigan, then afterwards he banned Stukov, also totally understandable. But very interesting start. Okay, on the left side. The final 2 picks for Poland. Varian and Sonya. Okay. That is quite the draft. Jojo, Varian, Sonya. So I guess we're gonna get Smash build. Then you have Genji behind it. And Uther. It would be kind of funny if Genji had an extra skill where he takes like his mask off for a second and it blinds people. So then opponents are blinded for like 3 seconds because they're like, no! Put it back on! That's a version of Heroes of the Storm that I would be excited about. Why can't we have things like that? Make the edgy version. Give us the edgy talents, you know? God, so many good ideas today again. Garden of Terror, map number 2. Poland against Sweden. Let's go. Game number 2. Poland against Sweden. On the left side, Lavakal on Uther, Atrax with Varian, Ether on Sonya, we get Arian on Genji, and twice on Johanna. To the right side of the map, Svamgrota with Atanas, Lauba on Anubarak, G on Kerrigan, and Henning with the Gatcane Skok on Junkrat. The stereotypes, they're striking once again. I honestly don't really know if there's some banter going on between Poland and Sweden. I can tell you that back in the 90s, there was still some banter between Poland and Germany. Like, one of the jokes back then was always that Poland has an advertisement slogan, and the national advertisement slogan was, "Come to Poland, your car is already here." I mean, again, that was the 90s, okay? Back then you could get away with some more edgy shit than today. But yeah, banter also works a little bit different over here than it does in the States, for example. I talked about this a bit earlier, but over here people mostly understand what's a joke and what isn't, so that people aren't really serious about this. But yeah, plenty of jokes also about the Germans. Some true, some not so much. So, I heard, by the way, like, weird stuff. Twitchchat the other day was asking me, like, the weirdest thing about Germany and if it's actually true that they heard things about Germans and they want to know. Oh, God, I can't put it together anymore. But some of the rumors that you have about stereotypes within countries are wild. Where it's just like, huh? Where have you heard that? I'm gonna try and remember. But yeah, some interesting things. But either way, for now, we got our first camps obviously being attacked. It's the 1 minute mark that passed, and as I said, big map, lots of camps. You want to make sure that you apply lane pressure. This is one of the reasons why we have a Tannis now with the amateur opponent here, trying to do the camp as quickly as he can. Gets a bit of an assist as well, I would assume. And yeah, off we go. We got Gia, we got Skok down here in the middle. And oh, but yeah, somebody actually reminded me. So, one of the things was apparently that the Germans only eat one hot meal a day. Nice attempt to invade the camp, but nope. Genji dead. Yeah, that one backfired, I'd say. They lose too. So yeah, that's definitely not true. I'm not sure if that was a thing at some point, you know, like maybe 50 years ago, in the days of my grandmother, where in Germany would have only one hot meal a day. I could totally see that. Back then it was probably a little bit more traditional, and I would assume that Vespa in the evening was still something where you would normally not eat a hot meal. But these days it's definitely not true anymore. So when I was younger, I think we had that a little bit to an extent, but that was also more so in the summertime, I would say. But these days, that's definitely not a thing. But I would never have thought that that is something that makes it, you know, across German borders and all of a sudden becomes a little bit of a stereotype or a thing that people talk about. But yeah, it's kind of nice. With so many different cultures here in Europe, you have there's some wild things just bound to be happening. But okay, with that we now have 2 kills to 1. And of course, over here, the bed of barbs. We got the Colossus Smash as expected. You're not gonna get meme blades. Can't actually remember the last time that we got meme blades. I think we had it once, either in Meta Madness or in the round of 16. But literally more for the memes than anything else. And it's still kind of funny though. We get the Potion of Shielding. We got the Slam build for Sonya. And off we go. No, Gia is alive. Gia is alive. Kerrigan made it, and now she's trying to re-engage with the Vengeance. There's a couple of juicy targets on the Polish team. Not only low in mana, but also very low in hit points, and they're trying to capitalize on that with an attempted kill on Jojo. That does not work out. Genji, yeah, he can still Swift Strike out of the fight, and does. Now, the first seat has already been claimed. That was an easy one for Sweden, so they have taken the lead there. Whereas with the position of seat number 2 at the top left, I'd assume that this is gonna end up in the hands of Poland. So, yeah. But then again, we now have over on the left side an attack. One thing, by the way, that is true about Germans. So when I was a kid, when we ate at my grandparents' place, then you were basically... I don't know if this was a general German thing back in those days. I don't think so. That might have been a thing for my granddad. But back then, you were not allowed to drink during the meal. So basically, you didn't really have water during the meal. You would finish food, and then, you know, you would have like water afterwards. And yeah, that they abandoned that practice at some point, and then I ran that past. But yeah, so back when I was a kid, that was actually a thing. Now, the one hot meal a day thing, I can totally see this, you know, in food shortages, or like, yeah, like maybe in the 50s or afterwards. Even when I grew up, as I mentioned before, occasionally that would happen, but it didn't really feel like that was a thing. It was just like, I don't know. But yeah, so weird practices everywhere, I guess. Anyways, 9-9. Half level lead, the dirty tricksters in the house, and we also have level 10 kicking in a moment. And this is where things get interesting, because now one of the two teams is going to get the second seed, and that will apply pressure on the next spawn. But with one shared, like each team has gotten one so far, it should get interesting here. Especially with heroic abilities kicking in, they might get a freebie. I don't think so. Suppression Pulse, summon the Ultralisk. And, well, yeah, they're gonna get this one. Zoned out nicely, don't have a level 10. And here we are. Nice. Okay. Divine Shield, 2 seeds in favor of Sweden, so they apply some pressure for the next spawn. And that is potentially, I mean, the spawn is going to be right here, so this is a really good position for Sweden in the first place. And I don't think that Poland is going to be too happy about this. Divine Shield to save Genji. They hope, of course, to get the Karrigan kill. And then we have it destroyed by Junkrat. And during all of this, at the top, they even kill Varian. So things are really not going well for Poland. They lose 5 heroes in total. They've now lost 2 seeds. The next one is spawning in a great position for the Swedes. And yeah, if they get Garden Terrors here, we should see the first few forts fall. Up to now, structures haven't really been destroyed yet. So, yeah. Anyways, next hit. And goodbye, Genji. Genji gone. And they're losing more and more ground. Guys, this is a disaster. Uther is dead, Genji is dead. Unless they're getting a few counter kills and get them quickly, they're gonna be in a really tough position. The heals are there, Henning is alive, Varian still wants the kill, doesn't have the ult again, Twice is helping with the Divine Shield, and they get Junkrat, so they are actually starting to turn this a little bit. Nice! Can they keep those boys alive, though? Especially with Jojo running out of mana and Itrax running out of hit points. Both of them are low. But Poland has kind of brought this back. That's actually impressive. So the seed was not quite the freebie that Sweden expected after getting the initial 2 kills. I think Karrigan was the first one to fall for the red team. And now there's a chance for Poland to go lock this one in. Oh my god! Triple stun and nobody to follow up on it. Yeah, that's a shame. If you connect 3, then you want to have somebody to go through and, yeah, get the kills. But talking about getting kills, Divine Shield is in. Deckard Kane is dead, so they're going for the old guy. And now you need a quick kill if you're Sweden, or you're going to lose that fight. You don't have sustain anymore. If you have some fountains up, that's great, but look at Nuburak. He's running out of hit points, mana. Same is true for Tannis. 1 kill, 2 kill. Quest completed. High King's quest is gone. And Poland with some nice plays now. 6 kills to 8. They're closing in on level 13. They get the second seed, so they're tying the score on the objective. They even take down Junkrat now in the middle, and they're destroying the structures. Guys, what's happening? Sweden, they looked so strong. They had 2 seeds to 1, more kills, 5 to 1 in total, and they totally dominated this. And now they are getting wrecked. They're losing the wall in the middle, they're losing it at the top. Another seed is spawning in their territory, and they're not even waiting for the objective to do even more damage at the top. Do they get that fort? No. But they are dropping it to 50%, and as long as they can disengage, they're going to be totally fine here. With 5 heroes all of a sudden making the move, they're not only disengaging, guys are going to get the kills. Gia is dead, Nuburak is dead too, and Poland is absolutely crushing them. Varian, top damage in the game. 26,000. And they are, I mean, nearly a level ahead. They can get the seed. They just took the fort down. Poland is going bananas on them. Damn. Love it. Absolutely love it. I did not expect that at all. Here come the Garden Terrors. They even take an additional camp together with them. They have level 15 already, meaning they could technically hit 16 during this entire play. And yeah, well, if Sweden doesn't defend this properly, they could get snowballed here. This could very quickly turn to avalanche. Goodbye. Goodbye, Artanis. Trash Tanis is doing what he does best, dying. And now they are just getting murdered. Unless they can lock a kill in. Can Kerrigan maybe pop off? If Gia can connect a few stuns, then you know what? Maybe. But look at the experience lead. 16 any second, and that lead is going to help them to force these fights even further. Bottom fort is going to be lost. Mid fort is lost. Up at the top, the wall is getting attacked and they gotta defend. But that allows the blue team to now rotate towards the bottom of the map and try and push with the remaining Garden Terror. So Poland is unleashed. These boys are on a roll. 10 kills to 8. They try for the gate. Once they have it, vision is there. Yep, now they got the vision. Towers are gonna fall. Lauber, I think they know where he is. Varian again with one hit after another. They're trying to turn it on him. Uther, no Divine Shield for now as he gets cocooned. They're getting pushed back and the Garden Terror is dead already. There it is. Sonya saved by Uther. At least for the moment. Ether is still trying to dodge it, realizes he's going to die and is trying to buy some time for the team. Moves into the opposite direction and just says, alright boys, whatever, I'm gonna fall, but at least I'm gonna get them a bit farther away from you so you have more of a chance. Gotta give credit to Poland. They are fighting tooth and nail here to ensure that they're at least winning one map. Maybe more, again. But the game isn't over yet. And Sweden, they are behind in structures. They lost every single fort that they have, but they also still have 2 seeds and they're not far behind in experience. Meaning they should be able to fight with even talents on the next objective, and if they get the next seed, then we're talking Garden Terrors for them. And then there is, of course, a chance that you are all of a sudden the team that is able to take these forts down, and it could bring them the lead once again. And this is exactly where we are now. There's obviously a little bit of a downside for Sweden currently, and that is that without any forts, it also means that they don't have any fountains left on these lanes. So that makes it a lot harder to try come in and claim any kind of victory if you cannot fall back to a fountain and just simply tap over there. So yeah, that's an issue. And I'm not quite sure if they're willing to risk it, as it seems now they might not be. Yeah, they're just sitting tight currently, waiting for a better spawn, I suppose. So as it is, it's a freebie. It was a freebie for Poland. I mean, it's the first seed for them, so it's not really of any big consequence just yet. There's a few that Sweden can let go, but they still want the fight, and now they're going for Atrax. And Varian gets the Divine Shield. Gets at least one attack out, one smash, but he's still insanely low, trying to escape here, and is able to move away. The rest of the team is still fighting on the other hand. Then Atrax is coming in again, has another smash in 3, so he could come in just for the damage alone. They're fighting, they're pushing Sweden back, and they get 1 kill. They lose Jojo, they kill Kerrigan, they kill Deckard Payne, and they're going also for the rest of them. And Nuburak and Artanis fall. 5-man team wipe. And that's a keep? Is it more? That's the question. Can they go for a game? 30 seconds with the camp? I think that's a victory for Poland in game number 2, everybody. Poland is on their way to victory in the second game, and we talked about how important these map wins are. Of course, if they can now even take the lead and maybe take Sweden down, that would be insane. But this is a huge win for Poland. This is such an important map win for them, and they take Sweden down with 15 kills to 10 on Garden of Terror. GG. Poland with a victory! Game number 2 on Garden of Terror, taken by Poland, and we are indeed following the match order that we saw from the Germans earlier. So, Battlefield of Eternity is our third map, and I am hyped for this. I said it before, Poland, they have what it takes to take a map or two, but now they are looking at a tight series with Sweden. And again, even if they lose this one, this is important for them. A map victory against one of the top 3 is big and can really make the difference at the end of the day if you are trying to go for 4th place. Now, if Poland all of a sudden draws a lot of motivation from this victory and is able to win the entire series, that would be quite the upset and would really put a damper on Sweden's ambition here. So they now have to bring this back. 20 heroes are not available anymore. The 20 that have already been played in game number 1 and game number 2 can't be played again in this particular series. But yeah, very much looking forward to the rest of this one. So, good job by Poland. And for Sweden, this is of course a bit annoying. Sweden lost a map to the Netherlands, and now they lost the map to Poland. And of course, when we're talking about matches within the top 3, I talked a bit earlier, I think it was in the first draft, about their performance against France. That was a really awesome series. If you haven't watched this one, make sure that you check it out on YouTube. That best of 5 was an absolute banger. But France and Germany, when they are playing against opponents outside of the top 3, outside of the favorites, they're not really dropping a lot of maps here. None, pretty much. But Sweden has a little bit of a weak point there, and that could cost you your position within the standings at some point. So, yeah. I absolutely love it. We are on play day 4 now, and these dynamics are starting to really kick in here. It's great. Brightwing as a first pick. Battlefield, meaning Sylvana's band, Vala band. Could still see Greymane this time. Was about to say Lunara. I think Li Ming is... Wait. Got Li Ming played in game 1? No. I think this was last series I'm thinking about. Not sure anymore. Is Li Ming still open? Either way, if she is, she's an option. Lunara is an option for damage. Greymane obviously is still great here on the Immortal. And there's Li Ming. Alright, so Li Ming is still open. Yeah, too many games that blend together at some point, but with Li Ming you still have the barrage that you can fire away. There's of course another chance that eventually we're going to get a Thrall here. I've seen that in some of the games. What was the other day? Thrall with Trash Lightning and finished the quest at the 10-minute mark. That was just bananas. His damage was crazy. I think they still lost the game, but it was still pretty impressive. If I'm not mistaken, it was one of the games that Finland played. And look at it. Now they're actually banning Jimmy out because he is obviously still a top damage dealer against the Immortal when you're going for Exterminator. So, yeah. Jimmy is banned. Lauber, I mean, Muradin is picked away. There's no tanks banned. What's Lauber gonna play? Is Garrosh still up? I mean, they played so far in every single series here in the Nations Cup top 8. They played at some point Zarya Garrosh. But first and foremost, Poland. I'm really irritated because, like, Sweden, my brain associates it with blue. Poland is associated with red, obviously. So not how the sides played out today. Because again, there's like a certain order to it when you're looking at the bracket, so this is correct, but every single time I look at the draft screen or at anything, immediately my brain goes like so, yeah. Tracer Chen. There's a lot of Panda today. Lauber would love to go Garrosh, but again, was already played, so can't. ETC instead. One of his oldies and goldies. Back in the day when he was a ETC one-trick pony. And now we got Lavakal, the final pick for Poland. It is Tyrande. Muradin Stormbolt into Tyrandestan, Miranda, and also has the Hunter's Mark for the Immortal, which allows Greymane to do even more damage. I like it. Battlefield of Eternity, Map number 3. Let's go and find out which one of the two teams here is going to take the lead in this best of 5 series at the European Nation Cup qualifier. Poland against Sweden. We're off to a nice third game. Battlefield of Eternity. Lavakal on Tyrande. We have Arian on Tracer, Ether on Chen, Itrex on Greymane, and Twice playing Muradin on the right side of the map. Dominated by the Swedes with Svamgrotta on Gurel, Lauba on ETC, Skog on Cassia, Henning on Brightwing, and Gia is playing Lemming. Time to shine. Poland. They've surprised in game number 2. Can they lock in another map win? Can they take the lead? Apply a little bit more pressure. And also, of course, is Sweden now just going to get mad and bring it back? Or how are they going to deal with the situation here? Tyrande is actually kind of interesting in the sense that if you can keep her safe, then you are in a spot where she can be insanely valuable. I mean, look at this. Stun into stun, and Skog is immediately in trouble and could have been killed if not for Lauba power sliding through here and buying a bit more time for the rest of the team. But this is exactly the kind of plays that are being needed now. So Muradin Tyrande has been a composition that has been played ever since Alpha, I want to say. So it's been around for ages. And for a very good reason. It's insanely powerful. The problem that Tyrande has is that these days she is struggling against heroes that can just dive on her because she doesn't have an escape tool and it is rather squishy. So if you still have Genji around and a lot of the others, then it can become problematic. But since we have this little tip to the head in the draft rules towards Meta Madness, where we don't allow a hero to be played more than once within the series, you can play around the problem a little bit, and then of course you still need to draft properly and safeguard things, but yeah. Either way. There's the slide, and, well, Arian is about to fall. Nah, he's getting away. So, 0 deaths just now. And here we go. The camp claimed, Sweden therefore a little bit more dominant at the bottom of the map. UL is now also coming in. They're still hoping that they can maybe surprise somebody here and get a kill, but it leaves Chen alone at the top. Shouldn't really cause him too much problems, but still. Yeah, that's the first blood, and Greymane is the one to fall, and he nearly wasn't alone there, was he? Tracer gets dropped pretty heavily, and now they're not stopping there. Damn, they're getting this entire thing destroyed, aren't they? Wall down, tower down. Now they can go for the second tower and drop this one too. The camp is giving them a bit of cover as well. It's like, whew, Sweden coming out of the gates swinging. So yeah, not too bad. Up at the top, Ural against Chen. I mean, again, nothing should really happen here. If anybody gets a kill there, that would be a total disaster for the other side. We've got Sledgehammer, and the first objective is up, which means both of the teams are going against for the Shaman camp. Set it up on the lane, timing around the objective so that your opponent has to split their attention on the objective and the defense. But this is now the opportunity. I've been talking, by the way, a little bit about ETC just in general and Lauba's affinity for the hero, but let's not forget that ETC is actually very, very powerful in Battlefield of Eternity in particular, because you have a lot of plays that you can make around the Immortal stuns, where you can stun somebody into the Immortal stun, you can push them into one of the Immortal stuns. So there's a lot that can be done here, and ETC has always been a very good choice on this map in particular. So something that Lauba might take advantage of as the game continues and as we're seeing more objectives spawn. But right now, it is a defensive stance that we're seeing from the red team. Lauba's running out of mana a little bit there, so yeah, somebody needs to tap a fountain and should do it quickly. And yeah, here he goes. So, tapping the fountain. This is also nice damage down at the bottom of the map. Svamgrotta now trying to ensure that the entire gate isn't falling. But with him splitting, it also means that the blue team has an easy access to the Immortal. And they just win the halftime show here. I mean, they just do. They got Tyrande right now for the Hunter's Mark. They got Greymane, so they have a lot of damage on this one. I gotta give it to Sweden, though. They kept it close. It's a really small margin that Poland was able to edge out here. And now we're off to the races. As it seems, who's gonna take it here? I mean, honestly, this is gonna get close. It's gonna get really close. And with Brightwing falling, this could just be the day of Poland. Poland still has to defend here. And they lose. They win the Immortal eventually. So that is a victory on the first objective. Killing Brightwing is an added bonus. The Fruit Fly is gone. And that allows them to get a bit aggressive up here and try and take that wall down. Keep in mind that they lost their own wall at the beginning, down at the bottom of the map, because they lost the camp, and Sweden used the chance to aggressively push in and take the outer structures down. So I don't think they can take the fort here, but any leeway they can make is gonna be nice. And hello, Space Goat. Svamgrota? Careful, bro. Yeah, cutting it a bit close there. Very disruptive. I give him that, but still cutting it close. And Tirana just stunned 3 heroes with 1 single stun arrow. That's like, damn. Lunar Flare. Stun arrow. Yeah, YOLOing Hanzo arrows out by default. They get the kill on Mirrodin though, so Li Ming is starting to pop off a little bit now that she has Calamity and the increased damage output. Question that remains, of course, is if Gia can, as the game continues, get a few resets together and just go through the blue team. Now, Arian is already getting attacked here, but is still able to make his way out of this. Ford has also suffered a few hit point losses. You still have Chen against Urel down at the bottom of the map. But, yeah. 15 stacks already for Tyrande. Okay. I mean, to be absolutely honest with you, Tyrande, if you cannot keep her safe, she is pretty good, and they stacked a lot of stuns with her so far. Yeah, nice explosion, but not like this Tracer, sorry. So Tracer kinda thought she was able to get in and out, but they played around her recall extremely well, took her down, and I think now we're seeing Greymane fall too. Yep, he is dead as well. 4 kills to 1, so Sweden a bit more disciplined and controlled in their approach to game number 3 after losing on Garden of Terror. So they're closing in on level 10 abilities that should allow them to pull ahead too. But this is definitely going to make things interesting, especially since Skork is just going for one hit after another here, tries to take this one down. There's no real follow-up. It's only Tracer around, so yes, you can hit that Stormbolt and then try and see what you can get. Maybe Tracer is getting a lucky punch in. Unlikely though. So level 10 is ready. We get the Mosh Pit over the potential stage dive. I guess in this case, yeah. Nah, that was a nice attempt by Urel. Didn't quite work out. Didn't quite get the second stun. But they are still playing around Lavakal. And Tyrande, this is the problem with her. Once that she gets caught, she's just dead. That's exactly what happened. So they sniffed out where she was positioned, came in, took her apart. And now the Mosh Pit to save Li Ming, and it looked great. She still died, but it was a really nice and cool move by Lauba, and honestly it helped them to afterwards take down Tracer. They also won the halftime show, so all in all, great spot for Sweden to be in. Nicely done, 6 kills to 2, halftime show victory, trading kills with the opponent's team. And now, of course, the attempt to try and get a little bit more out of this. But I like it. Problem is that if they want to have a little bit more, they really need to hurry up, because they're getting attacked now as well over here. ETC, yeah, top cake plays from our boy Chen are happening. And it's a channel, or not a channel, it's a race on both sides. And that gives the victory then eventually over to the team in red. So it is Sweden that wins the second objective. Job well done here. The damage definitely minimized by Poland, since they were able to reduce it fairly significantly. So good for them. But yeah, let's see how much more they can actually do in this one. Another push up at the top now happening, and this should honestly be the first fort of the game. Would be a little bit shocked if they can't take this one down. Chen is at the bottom of the map, on the other hand, for Poland, so they're trying to repay them in kind with some structural damage. At least attempt to trade. I don't think they really can, because Urel is already on her way to prevent exactly that from happening. But Chen should be able to do at least some damage. So the wall goes down, but Svamgrota is here in time. That fort itself is not going to get threatened. Whereas Chen might be needed up at the top, since now we're talking keep. And even just taking the keep wall down is obviously already a win in and of itself. Twice zoning them a bit farther out here. Damage output, we are at 24,000 for Greymane at this point, 27 for Cassia. Right wing with the assist, but good damage, and Lauber is not out of the woods yet. Far from it. Lauber gets barreled straight into the blue team and dies. They wanted beef and they got beef. It's barbecue season after all. Ether, yeah, they want some panda as well. Okay, so double, oh, kill for kill. And they want to make it a double now. If you're Poland, you have to be a bit careful here because the entire wall is down. If you lose too many heroes now, then your opponent, in this case Sweden, would very likely try and make a play for the top keep. At least take it a notch lower, so can't really have that happening. To the bottom of the map, 7 kills, 2-3. We got 13 on the board, of course, now for the Swedes. That gives us the Valens Chosen, plus also the Illusionist. So, a little bit more around the teleportation. Talking about teleportation, Brightwing teleporting in. They have a camp at the top pushing that forces Chen to defend, and now they have another one at the bottom of the map, so they're trying to take the fort down here. Sweden is really covering all their bases, so Sweden is everywhere now. They are a level ahead in experience. They have 4 kills more than the blue team. They've taken the first fort down and are trying to eliminate the second one. But yeah, Svamgroda eats the bullet. Might have to pop his ult if this continues, but is able to move back. This is one of the big issues with Urel. Your ult just has such a long cooldown that is always very, I mean, not risky, but you really don't want to just use it. You want to make sure that it is used when needed. ETC talking about using things when needed. I mean, he had some bees in his bum right there. He just wanted to dance, you know. Sometimes you can just hear the music and you just want to go for it. And ETC, he was shaking it. Shake it, baby, shake it. Nobody else wanted to dance with him. And that's a deletion, isn't it? Lauber, how is he still alive? Oh my god. Lauber, he eats the Stormbolt. Brightwing, okay, finally ETC is dead. But holy hell. What a nice play by Poland. They stunned him out with easy stacks. Got the damage with Greymane connected. The Wolf wanted to go for the cow. And that was the end of ETC after Brightwing initially was able to save him. And then Brightwing herself nearly fell. So now it's 7 kills to 4. Tracer low, but they get the kill on Liming and Cassia. Both of them. It's happening again, isn't it? Poland, everybody. They get the Immortal. Yeah, but they're also getting a little bit over-eager. Greymane didn't need to die there. Can you imagine how brutal that push would have been if they had Greymane and the Immortal 50% shield now? That would have been rough. So, great plays from Poland again. You can tell they're not just simply sitting there thinking, hey, we took a map. We're fine losing the series, or maybe not fine, but we're like, if it happens, we're okay with it. They want to take it all. And they want Urel too. And Svamgrota, has he miscalculated this time? Has it happened? Urel jumps straight into the hands of Tyrande. And there's 2 heroes in this game that are fantastic at wasting other people's time. One is Jojo, the other one is Urel. And Svamgrota is wasting a lot of them, but eventually he falls. I honestly think that they would have thrown everything at him and anything, simply because at some point you're just committed, you know? It's like, yeah, even if it costs us the game, we're gonna kill this hero now. So the bottom fort has indeed fallen. So has Urel. The Immortal has continued to do some damage at the bot lane keep wall. There's the party! And it is a big play. ETC gets the kills with the rest of the team against Tyrande, Tracer, Greymane, and Murden. So, yeah. That's a little bit of a sad panda move, if anything. And talking about sad pandas, this panda is really sad because he's going to die too. So that is 5 heroes down, 5-man team wipe. That was pretty sick. Just as it looked like Poland would walk away with a big advantage and maybe take control of this game, Sweden just said, no, not happening. Nope. Came in and wiped the entire team of the map. So if I've ever seen a party pooper, then it's definitely them. Sweden just saying, not on our watch, bro. No, 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 not like this. And then to control. So, yeah. Well done. Really well done. But this game is not over. 60,000 damage for Cassia. The owl is on the way, says hello up at the top. Each team with the camp. One keep down, so... Bit of a lead now for Sweden in structures, again. But this is the big fight now. And can they take this one down? Damn. Right now the Swedes are doing way more damage. I mean, damn son. They are winning this one easy peasy. Double camp topside for Sweden too, so that's another huge problem because we are 15 minutes in. Catapults that you escort towards the opponent's core are going to do work, especially when they're escorted by a double camp. It's actually not quite true. With one camp they're great, with two camps they're shitty because catapults are still fucking stupid and they're just going to sit behind this guy all day long. Since there's only one left, they might actually be able to navigate around him. But yeah, these guys need Google Maps to just drive around the corner. It's embarrassing. Is that a kill? Core gets attacked, by the way, any second now. 8 trucks, talk about things that are getting attacked. Greymane got wrecked. Ah, another big mosh pit. Lauber! Look at him, the one-trick pony, ETC of old. He still got it with his favorite hero. They have only one survivor here. It is a Tracer, and the core is gonna fall. They're getting Tracer as well. And that is the end of game number 3. Nicely done by Sweden. They have not given up and they have again taken the lead in this best of 5. A 2-1 lead for Sweden after the victory here in Battlefield of Eternity. 18 kills to 7. Nicely done. GG. And well played. Cursed Hollow, Sweden against Poland. Boys, girls, we get a 2-1 lead for Sweden, so they brought it back. Or they are at least in the lead. Can they win this one on Cursed Hollow? It's their first match point, but Poland could also bring this back now. So, how are they gonna play this one out? Hoga gets banned again. Cursed Hollow obviously has also some interesting twists when it comes to drafting, because now you could technically think about picking Abathur or Vikings. Samuro, another option. Abathur Samuro has also been played here quite a bit. And the map has been chosen by Sweden. And I wouldn't put it past Sweden at all to pick one of these heroes. But then they ban out Abathur. Okay. So... yeah, that's a really good ban, by the way. Banning Medivh against them makes a whole lot of sense. This is game 4 after all, so there's a couple of heroes that can't be played anymore. 30 in total. And we know that Sweden has very good combos with Medivh, so this is a really nice ban by Poland. I like that. Thinking about what could your opponent throw against you that you're really annoyed with, or that would make it for a horrible game. And they're playing this well. This leaves us with Lucio, interestingly enough, and he gets taken immediately. Is there still a chance for Vikings, though? Ooh, Sylvanas? Now, if you go for Sylvanas, if you play Vikings and you have Sylvanas, you can do a ton of work. You have a strong 4-man, Vikings control the experience, and then you come in with her. And banning out Abathur and Zeratul, I mean, especially the Zeratul ban would work with this. I'm a bit afraid Poland is probably just going to ban the Vikings out. Gonna be honest. Pretty sure that they're going to just ban the Vikings. I wouldn't really risk it. I'm not saying that Sweden is definitely going to take it if they don't, but there is definitely an option for them. Arthurs and Tigers. And what exactly is Sweden banning out? I want to see what Svamgrota takes. I always want to see the Svamgrota Murky again, and I know he wants to play it, but I don't think that his team is going to allow him to pick him. For that, you would have to end up in a 5-map or something that they would even consider it. Which is definitely not where we are. Chromie banned. Okay. And Sergeant Hammer. Okay, it's hammer time. No, it's not hammer time. It was hammer time on the last map, technically, because of Muradin. But Sergeant Hammer gets banned now too, which means that we still have, technically, the Vikings on the map, and they could be picked last. So I would expect that everything else gets taken now. If they pick everything except for the side laner, then we know what options there are. Malfurion, it's Leoric. I mean, again, it makes sense, but it would have just been nice to see the Vikings being played here. I would have enjoyed that a lot. It's kind of sad. Yeah, well, let's see what else they're gonna do. They still need a hero for Gia, but before we're getting to that point, we have Poland here in Cursed Hollow with the double pick. Now keep in mind that Tyrael is obviously also very, very good with Sanctification on boss fights. So that's another one where he can absolutely excel. Illidan and Deathwing. I am very pleased with the fact that we get a few more Illidan picks these days. He's not appearing in every single series, he's not always going to get picked, but it's fun to me that we have Illidan at least a bit more often as an option considered by the team, so that's kind of cool. And there's not really a lot of stuns on the Swedish side. And Illidan's biggest opponent are stuns. Alright, Malthael, Tyrael and Leo at the front. This could be good. Guys, Cursed Hollow. Can Poland pull it off? Can they force game 5? Or is Sweden gonna put a stop to it right here, right now, and claim victory in the series? Let's find out. Game number 4, the opportunity for Poland to force the 5th map and the chance for Sweden to end this best of 5. Lavakal on the left side of Cursed Hollow starts things off for the Polish team with Lucio. Ether playing Illidan. We got 8 tracks on Deathwing, twice on Arthur's, and Arian with Tigers. To the right side of the map, their opponents, Svamgrota on Malthael for the team in red. As you can see, we are currently with Henning on Malfurion this time. We got Lauber with Tyrael and Gia and Sylvanas with Skok on Leoric. Good stuff. Good times. We have on level 1 already the Ardent Restoration for Tyrael, so we could also see him play this a bit more aggressively. Maybe even with a Judgment over Sanctification, which I highlighted earlier as an option for him. You gotta be also careful, as I said, with Illidan. Illidan in the late game, more so than anything else. Not really something that I'm too worried about for them in the early stages of the game. Should at least not be a big concern. And the Malthael with the Death's Reach. So... yeah, can they... no. Without the Drain, maybe. Maybe with a little bit of follow-up, but... yeah, with it now. So as soon as he connected that, he was pretty much safe. Deathwing sitting in the middle of the map. Just doing his thing here. Huge force to be reckoned with, of course. I mean, he's been played mostly by Nick so far in this round of 8, simply because Nick is playing him as a main tank. Nick has been forced to play tank for the German team a lot, and therefore he adjusted slightly. And I believe that in every single series so far, they played with Deathwing as a main tank at least once. So he seems to like it, and it's something that the team is coordinated around pretty well. To the bot lane, Tigers up against Skok. And Leo again has to be a bit careful. He was actually worried they would be targeted in this case, but not quite. Mid lane, Gia still playing this also a little bit slow, not really leaving the mount. Gets unhorsed a second later. And Lauber is now moving in with Tyrael again. I mean, again, it's a little bit of an of a slower early game, is what I wanted to say. Not quite as aggressive as we had it in some of the previous maps, but at least with Sylvanas and the camp, they can try and get the extra value through the push, and that's what they do, disabling the tower, trying to take one of them down. Any kind of rotation of Sylvanas, of course, needs to be met as quickly as possible, because Gia can help the red team to get structures destroyed very, very quickly, and you need to try and minimize that impact as best as you can. Whereas on the other hand, what you would want to do if you're Sweden is to make sure that you're not ending up too late in the game, or Illidan might really become a problem, simply because you don't have a lot of tools to deal with them. Now, there's obviously a couple of things that you still can do. We have the route for Malfurion, Could technically also go into a Twilight Dream here. Wailing Arrow is a potential option. Judgment. But generally speaking, it's not like we're looking at tons of stuns that can easily be stacked outside of heroic abilities by Sweden. So Illidan is a threat. He's not going to single-handedly win the game, but he is definitely a threat that could become problematic in the late game, especially when forts are down, distance to safety is increased. Yeah. So Lavakal, everybody's dancing around tribute number 1. And with how the split looks for Sweden, it's, I guess, Poland is going to take the first one. Unless, of course, they're willing to move somebody else in. And oof, Sylvanas made it out, taps the fountain. But the interrupts are still happening. Lauva's coming in and says hello. Just as we see Arthurs with another Howling Blast attempt on the red team's frontliner, but misses it. Yeah, level 7 for the 2 of them now. And that gives us the rapid chase. And also the reverse amp for Lucio. And yeah, it is definitely a much more aggressive play from Tyrael. Purge Evil, Divine Vigor, Ardent Restoration. It's Nick's Judgment build that he's currently executing. And they're still fighting over objective number 1. And all of this is happening as the top lane has already taken a little bit of damage. Illidan is now moving between lanes and is starting to come back in. Nobody wants to give up on the first objective. I mean, on a single one. Everybody's just fighting around it. Everybody's just sitting tight, trying to channel, gets interrupted, try to shield him, get some space. The choke points, of course, are becoming problematic, as you can see here. Way too much damage now on the Polish team. So it's a big problem for them too. And the side laners are still making their plays. We're still waiting for kill number 1. But it is really Poland that's suffering the most. And Deathwing is engaging and everybody else is moving away instantly. I don't really think this is going to work out for the Polish team. They're just losing too much ground. If they can get a kill, and they can. But they also lose Lucio. So Lucio is out, the end of the Lulz. But yeah, I mean, again, this is like 3 heroes down here that still have fairly decent hit point and mana, whereas Taika has now had to retreat. Nobody rotates the side laner over. Drain on twice, nearly dropped Arthurs, and the first tribute is now taken by Sweden. So, job well done. Sweden, they have objective number 1. Illidan still has a little bit control over the top. Game continues towards level 10. That's also where Illidan wants to be. As I said before, the farther he reaches into the late game, the better for him. And Sylvanas, she is able to do some damage. Has level 10 now in the Wailing Arrow, but this is not enough to take him apart. And he goes Hunt. Do we have Hunt and Judgment on the other side? No, still Sanctification. Still Sanct for boss fights. And also, again, if Illidan can't do any damage in the team fight and you stack up on it, then you have a bit more time to deal with him. But still for more damage focus build with Tyrael. Talking damage. Illidan with the Hunt is already right here in play. Last rites for Malthael. They're trying to go for Leo. Oh, tons of damage. No last rites yet. Actually, I'm lying. Last rites was used and they got the kill. Deathwing is the victim. Deathwing turned into Deadwing and Malthael turned it into a stack. And the second tribute is also claimed by Sweden. Sweden looking good. Yeah, with Sylvanas they can push. So they get a kill and they instantly capitalize on that kill by claiming the tribute, using Sylvanas in the middle, and they do damage thanks to the minion wave and, of course, the mercenary camp itself. Sanctification had to be used over here, but they're not out of the woods yet, especially Henning. He is just caught on the wrong foot. Malfurion, no chance for him. Terror! And Deathwing burns them to a crisp. It's barbecue time. That's one of the things that I'm actually miss a little bit. My dad just fired up the grill for the first time this year. And of course, he sent me pictures immediately. It's one of the things that you don't really get all that much in Spain. I mean, you get your paellas and everything, you get really good food here. But barbecues are not really that big of a thing here. I mean, part of it all is also how people live, and very few have a grill in their house. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't exist at all, but the barbecue culture is definitely very, very different from what I know and am used to from home. And yeah, it's just another thing. Another hunt, another kill, and that is Malthael gone. So Poland is again fighting back. It seems to be a bit of a trend. Early game, Sweden takes the lead. Mid-game, Poland all of a sudden realize that they're here to win the video game. And then they start to take some names. But they're losing a fort now. So they're trading. They're trading structures. Structures are being traded. 5 kills to 3. And Deathwing is barbecuing it even more. Which again, it makes me also want to have a barbecue. A couple of proper sausages, a couple of potatoes in there. Ah, nice. Absolutely awesome. And Deathwing, I mean, we have Chef Stitches in the game, but I can totally see Deathwing being the grill master. 100%. You know, it doesn't have the right temperature, he just comes in and does exactly that. And then it's like nice and crispy. Ah, it's awesome. I mean, again, for Berlin, I'm obviously going to be at the offline final for the Nations Cup, and I'm going to stop by visiting family before that, and I cannot wait for the proper barbecue. Ah, it's gonna be glorious. There's some things you just miss from home. Despite the fact that I really love it here in Spain, but some of the stuff you are definitely missing every now and then. So, with the fight approaching, this is potentially a curse. Oh, the sanctification and the end of Arthur's. Nice! Arthur's down. Sweden on rampage. They want this one. They want that curse. They want the push. And they get a second kill as they destroy Illidan. And oh boy, is that a problem. The tribute has at least been channeled by Poland. That was huge. If they don't channel the tribute, then they are put in... first of all, they experience the curse, the boss is still taken, and they are likely losing tons of structures. But the situation is bad enough as it is, because you lose your boss at the bot lane, and then at the same time, your opponent still runs a Sylvanas that they could use if they wanted to, and there's another tribute now up too. So this is definitely bad news for Poland. They're fighting back time and time again, every time that Sweden gets a small advantage, and they just look like they would be taking control any second, and then they get murdered in the next fight by Sweden, and this is nearly worst case scenario. Sylvanas helping them to take the wall down, Malthael with the channel on the tribute. It's time for the first curse of the game. Level 16 talents as an advantage as well, and this is just rough. So yeah, they're gonna lose a lot here. He still hasn't channeled it, by the way. So is he just... Ah, Deathwing is pissing him off. Alright, alright. Deathwing is doing what he does best. So yeah, they have to have the double channel. I was just for a second thinking if they're actually intentionally delaying it. And I was just like, wait a second, there's no reason to intentionally delay this. If you're talking Infernal Shrines, then obviously, yeah, then it's a different story. But the defense at the bot lane has happened, so the keep hasn't been lost, but it will be lost in a moment, because of course Sweden is interested in taking some structures down here. Deathwing trying to just scorch the earth and prevent them from approaching it, but it's not the only lane where pressure is being applied. Top and mid lane also have to be dealt with, because thanks to the objective, thanks to the curse, Poland is, yeah, with their back to the wall. They're losing keep number 1 in the middle of the map. The gate is being destroyed. The curse still strong for another 24 seconds. And up at the top, a similar picture is slowly emerging. That level 16 talent advantage is making things so much worse for them right now. It's just nasty. Bad news for Poland. They're trying. They really are. They need a teamfight victory. They need somebody to pop off. Illidan to jump into the backline maybe and get some kills. But now 2 keeps have been destroyed. The only one they were able to save is up at the top. They get level 16. They're still 1.5 levels behind. And it is just disastrous for the Polish team. 38,000 damage for Tychus. We have, well, 29,000 for Sylvanas, but the entire map is now pushing against them. The only thing that's really still okay for Poland is it's early in the game. So they have a couple of advantages that they can use here, given the situation. They have Illidan as a pseudo-global. He can control the side lanes and then join the team with a hunt. and Deathwing in a similar spot. So they have some options to deal with these lanes that are now continuously being pressured by catapults. But what Poland really needs is to destroy some structures. They need to take at least these forts down, so that there's not a catapult on every single wave against them, and they themselves don't have anything to counterplay that. So, yeah, Twice gets attacked. They're being forced into the fight, and this might be the big one. Sanctification, not used yet, still being held back by Tyrael. They didn't fully commit to this yet. 5 kills to 5, so on kills, they're dead even. But Sweden is also very happy to just let this game play out a bit longer and wait for level 20. But first they're getting another stack for Malthael. That means that he's sitting at 3 now, 15-second cooldown reduction. Lucio split from the team, and after now taking Arthur's and Illidan apart, they know that they can go for the core. Sweden, another hiccup for them. They lost one map, but currently they're en route to at least claim victory in the series. They're doing well here. They're doing well, and it's good for Poland that they at least were able to win a map. But if they want to do more than that, then they need to pull off a bit of a miracle, because they're just losing everything. Tigers is down, the core lost its shield, and now it is time for Sweden to finish what they started. They're going to claim victory here. It is a 3-1 in favor of Sweden, as the favorites in this series take another best of 5 and solidify their second place in the standings. GG, well played. Congratulations to Sweden.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.